From the ancient Greeks to modern movements, democracy has been a beacon of hope for societies yearning for freedom and self-determination. The concept of democracy, originating in the city-states of ancient Greece, has evolved over centuries, adapting to the changing needs and aspirations of people across the globe. People have fought and died for the right to have a say in how they are governed. The sacrifices made in the name of democracy are a testament to its profound importance. From the suffragettes who fought for women's right to vote, to the civil rights activists who demanded equality, the struggle for democratic rights has been long and arduous. This struggle for democracy underscores its significance as a system that empowers the people and holds leaders accountable. It is a system that, at its core, seeks to ensure that every voice is heard and that every individual has a stake in the decisions that shape their lives. But is this cherished ideal truly attainable? Can we ever achieve a perfect democracy where every voice is equally valued and represented? Can a system designed to translate the will of the people into collective decisions ever be truly fair and representative? The mechanics of voting, the influence of money in politics, and the complexities of governance all pose significant challenges. The allure of democracy lies in its promise of giving power to the people. It is a promise that inspires hope and drives people to participate in the democratic process, believing that their voice can make a difference. It is a system where, ideally, the majority rules and the rights of the minority are protected. This balance between majority rule and minority rights is crucial to the functioning of a healthy democracy. However, as we delve into the complexities of voting systems and the mathematics of decision-making, a sobering reality emerges. The ideal of a perfectly fair and representative democracy is challenged by the practicalities of implementation. Democracy, despite its noble aspirations, faces inherent challenges that call into question its ability to perfectly reflect the will of the people. Yet it remains a powerful and enduring symbol of hope, a system worth striving for, and a testament to the human spirit's desire for freedom and self-determination. In an ideal democratic system, the will of the people reigns supreme. Every vote carries equal weight, and the candidate or policy that garners the most votes wins. This principle of majority rule forms the bedrock of democratic decision-making. It aims to ensure that the collective choice reflects the preferences of the greatest number of people. The concept seems straightforward enough. Yet, as we scratch beneath the surface, we encounter paradoxes and mathematical impossibilities that challenge the very foundations of democratic ideals. Can we truly aggregate individual preferences into a collective choice that accurately reflects the will of the people? The answer, as we shall see, is far from simple. In 1951, economist Kenneth threw a wrench into the machinery of democratic ideals with his groundbreaking Impossibility theorem. This theorem, a cornerstone in social choice theory, has since sparked extensive debate and analysis among economists, mathematicians, and political scientists. Arrow's theorem, in essence, demonstrates that no voting system can perfectly satisfy a set of seemingly reasonable fairness criteria when there are three or more options. These criteria include unanimity. If everyone prefers option A to option B, the system should rank A higher than B. This principle seems straightforward, yet achieving it in practice is more complex than it appears. Non-dictatorship. The outcome shouldn't be determined by the preferences of a single individual. In a truly democratic system, no one person's vote should have the power to override the collective will of the people. Independence of irrelevant alternatives. The ranking of A and B shouldn't be affected by preferences for a third option, C. This criterion ensures that the introduction or removal of an unrelated option doesn't skew the results. Arrow's theorem reveals a fundamental limitation in our ability to design a voting system that consistently produces fair and rational outcomes. It highlights the inherent conflicts and trade-offs that must be navigated in any democratic process. It suggests that trade-offs are inevitable. No system can perfectly balance all fairness criteria without compromising on at least one aspect. Satisfying some fairness criteria often comes at the expense of others. For instance, ensuring non-dictatorship might lead to violations of unanimity or independence of irrelevant alternatives. This mathematical reality has profound implications for the way we think about democracy and its ability to accurately reflect the will of the people. It challenges us to reconsider our assumptions about fairness and the mechanisms we use to achieve collective decision-making. Arrow's Impossibility theorem remains a pivotal concept, reminding us that while democracy strives for fairness, the path to achieving it is fraught with inherent complexities and compromises. The Condorcet Paradox, named after the 18th century French mathematician and philosopher, further illustrates the complexities of collective decision-making. This paradox highlights how individual preferences can lead to a situation where no single option is the most preferred by the group. Imagine three friends, Alice, Bob, and Carol, trying to decide on pizza toppings. They each have their own favorite toppings, and they need to come to a consensus. They have three options: pepperoni, mushrooms, and cheese. Each friend has a different ranking for these toppings. Alice prefers pepperoni to mushrooms and mushrooms to cheese. She thinks pepperoni is the best choice. Bob, on the other hand, prefers mushrooms to cheese and cheese to pepperoni. For him, mushrooms are the top pick. Carol prefers cheese to pepperoni and pepperoni to mushrooms. She believes cheese is the best option. In a pairwise comparison, pepperoni beats mushrooms because Alice and Carol prefer it over mushrooms. Mushrooms beat cheese since Alice and Bob prefer mushrooms over cheese. Cheese beats pepperoni because Bob and Carol prefer cheese over pepperoni. This circularity of preferences demonstrates the Condorcet Paradox. It shows how individual rational choices can lead to a collective irrational outcome. No single topping emerges as a clear winner, even though each individual has a clear preference order. This paradox reveals the challenges in group decision-making. The Condorcet Paradox reveals that even with simple choices and rational individuals, a collective preference may not exist or be impossible to determine. It underscores the complexity and sometimes the impossibility of achieving a fair and consistent group decision. Section 5, First Past the Post. A winner takes all. The first past the post voting system, widely used in countries like the United States and the United Kingdom, further complicates the pursuit of democratic ideals. In FPTP, the candidate with the most votes wins even if they don't secure a majority. This system can lead to situations where a candidate wins an election with less than 50% of the vote, potentially leaving a significant portion of the electorate feeling unrepresented. Furthermore, FPTP often results in tactical voting. Voters, aware of the limitations of the system, may vote strategically for a candidate they believe has a better chance of winning, even if that candidate is not their top choice. This strategic behavior can distort election outcomes and undermine the principle of one person, one vote. Section 6. Gerrymandering, drawing lines, skewing votes. Gerrymandering, the practice of manipulating electoral boundaries to favor a particular political party or group, adds another layer of complexity to the democratic process. By strategically redrawing district lines, those in power can effectively dilute the voting power of certain groups and give their own party an unfair advantage. Gerrymandering can result in elections that are predetermined, undermining the very essence of democracy. It creates a system where the outcome of elections is influenced more by the way districts are drawn than by the will of the people. This manipulation of electoral boundaries poses a serious threat to fair and representative elections. Section 7. Alternative voting systems, seeking a better way. Recognizing the limitations of traditional voting systems, many political scientists and electoral reformers have proposed alternative systems aimed at better reflecting the will of the people. Ranked choice voting, for example, allows voters to rank candidates in order of preference. If no candidate receives a majority of first-place votes, the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated, and their votes are redistributed based on the voters' second choices. This process continues until a candidate reaches a majority. Proportional representation systems, on the other hand, aim to allocate seats in a legislature in proportion to the votes received by each party. This system ensures that smaller parties are represented in government, reflecting the diversity of views within the electorate. Section 8. Can democracy be mathematically perfect? The mathematical paradoxes and real-world challenges we've explored paint a somewhat disheartening picture of democracy's ability to perfectly reflect the will of the people. Arrow's Impossibility theorem suggests that no voting system can perfectly satisfy all fairness criteria, while the Condorcet Paradox demonstrates that even with simple choices, a clear collective preference may not exist. The flaws of systems like first past the post and the manipulation of electoral boundaries through gerrymandering further underscore the challenges of achieving a truly representative democracy. While alternative voting systems like ranked choice voting and proportional representation offer potential solutions, they are not without their own complexities and limitations. Section 9. The enduring power of democracy. Despite its imperfections, democracy remains a powerful force for good in the world. It provides a framework for peaceful transitions of power, protects individual rights, and offers a mechanism for citizens to hold their leaders accountable. While the pursuit of a mathematically perfect democracy may be an elusive goal, the pursuit of a more perfect democracy, one that strives for greater fairness, representation, and accountability, remains a noble and essential endeavor. The journey towards a more perfect democracy requires ongoing dialogue, critical thinking, and a willingness to adapt and evolve our systems in light of new challenges and opportunities. The quest for a truly representative and responsive government is an ongoing process, one that demands our continued attention and engagement.